Good evening, everyone. It is the Boston Independent Drivers Guild. We are here coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So, a lot of you guys had great comments and great feedback about Rideshare 101. And, we are now gifting you with Rideshare 201. And the topic for tonight, we are going to be talking about livery. And so get your coffee, get your tea, get your libation, whatever you like, and just sit back and relax and join the conversation. We are here to answer your questions. Also, we're here for you. Thank you for being with us tonight. And so we are going to get to our first topic, and that is what is livery. And so, who wants to answer that? Anyone know? Don't everyone raise their
Yeah,
hands all at once.
I guess I'll go ahead. Livery is basically black car and luxury cars that exceed the parameters of a standard car. They're more luxurious, more spacious. Um, they're operated by professional drivers who are mainly chauffeurs, limousine drivers, people who've um, been in that type of industry for many, many years, are professionally trained, um,
Mhm.
and they rent those vehicles from companies for a specific amount of money per week, and they have to adhere to special parameters that we don't, and they do, and
Mhm.
much, much, much harsher restrictions than we have. So they're held to a higher standard than we are. They have a 5-year limit on their cars, where we have a 10-year limit on our cars. So, yeah, that's about it.
Wow, very, very informative. And so, when we go to mass.gov, because you always want to get the government definition, and I'm going to put it in the chat. And so mass.gov says, what does it say? So, and for Massachusetts, the section of the code defines livery vehicles as any limousine or other vehicle which is designed to carry 15 or fewer passengers for hire, business, courtesy, employee shuttle, customer shuttle, charter, or other pre-arranged type of transportation. And what a lot of drivers don't realize is when Uber and Lyft first came into town, you actually had to have livery plates, which means that the standard of service, like Steve said, was at a higher level. You also have to carry an insurance policy, a livery insurance policy, and it's at least $1 million. And it usually costs about $5,000 per year to have that type of policy. And have any of you gentlemen ever done livery before?
Yes, I have.
No, not me. I haven't bothered messing around with that yet. I thought about it at first when it first came out, but yeah, it's way above my pay grade right now.
I
So,
I I did it a long time ago, um, using somebody else's cars. Actually, I did it because they were so stuck with help. I took people to a concert down in Foxborough, or not Foxborough, down in Great Woods, Manfield, Xfinity Center.
mhm.
So I mean, it was okay. I mean, but it was all prepaid and everything else like that.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? My dad actually used to be a livery driver back in the day too. And this was before GPS, and he didn't know how to use MapQuest. Y'all remember MapQuest when you had
Oh
it?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was
Oh,
our
Tom,
Google Maps before.
Tom.
Yep,
Driving in the
you're over
lane,
there.
going
You
up the
talk
Hey
about
highway.
Beth,
you're driving. You're
Beth,
reading the
I'm
directions while you're driving.
I'm gonna show my age.
Oh, guacamole.
I worked with paper maps. Okay, I
Me
Yeah,
had
me
too.
paper
too.
Back in the
I
day.
did that too.
paper I had paper maps and atlases. That's how I navigated around. So
Damn, he took it back
My
to the
my first
atlases. That's
time
old school.
my first time working as a truck driver, I used to have my backpack full of paper maps so I can make my
yep,
deliveries,
yeah.
and I'd go all around the different states, and I'd be in like you know just utter chaos trying to get around, and it's so nuts.
Well, I always kept a membership with AAA.
Yeah, you smart for doing that. I'm telling you,
Oh
that's
yeah,
a really, really smart thing to do. Let me
yeah.
tell you. And
Because
so,
they would give the best maps in New York City because it would show all the one ways. And so when I had to go into New York City, like with the tour buses and stuff like that, I know all the one ways of where they are and stuff like that. They have all the arrows on different streets when they, moved them around and stuff like that. So it was good.
and so I think livery is a great thing. Um, and so like Steve said, we're going to use this as a segue. What Steve said is too rich for his blood. You know, it takes money to make money. So we're going to get to our next topic, which is what are the pros and cons of livery? And so, like Steve said, it costs a lot of money for that insurance. And instead of replacing your vehicle every 10 years, you have to replace it every 5 years. You also got to wear a suit, Dave. I know my dad had to dress up in a
You
suit with a cute
you,
little hat. You still gonna have to do that now, doing livery?
you have to dress up nice. I know that because I have a
It
few friends who do it, and
it
very very
defines it depends on what definition of livery you're using. If you're driving a black car doing a limo, yeah, you should be in a suit. But if you're just doing like sedans and stuff like that every day, like medical livery plates, people don't dress up. So there's two different ways of doing it with just the regular medical and stuff like that, like day-to-day sedan work, or your top-notch limousines, black car service.
Okay. That's good to know. You're right. There are a lot of medical transport. That's how my mom gets to a lot of her appointments and how our elders get to a lot of a lot of their appointments.
Yeah, unfortunately, the standard's pretty low with the medical cars because they use a lot of older model cars. They use cars that aren't the best for the road, and they know they're not getting the top dollar for it, so they tend to not show as much enthusiasm. They tend to not care as much, which they should. But basically, they're getting handed the teas work, the rides work, and anything Mass Health pays for. So it's at a lower percentage.
And actually, you know what I found out too? A lot of delivery companies, the T is funneling off those rides to Uber and Lyft, and Uber and Lyft is funneling them off to delivery drivers because I know my mom asked me, "Oh, do you want to be a driver picking up people from appointments?" And I said, "How much is it paying?" And I was like, "What?" It was paying, way too low. And she explained to me because Uber and Lyft are outsourcing those rides to delivery companies, so they're probably taking a loss. But you know, I've seen they have like Toyota Camrys or something like that. Toyota is a reliable type of vehicle, and
but some of
so
those models are extremely sensitive to break-ins. Because those cars, they get broken into the most. There's like at least 5 or 6 models right now that are high theft.
mhm.
It's scary. I'm glad I got a Subaru.
Well, the parts for them are pretty easy because they're foreign and they're pretty much universal parts. I used to work
Yeah.
in an auto parts store, and one distributor, one filter would fit a whole bunch of them. So that's why they're,
Yep.
I used to call them throwaway cars.
Oh
I think
wow.
that's what they should do with cars. They should make them more universal instead of making them so like, because
That would
capitalism.
be too
Right.
easy and make it better for us, the consumers. They can't have that. They could not be doing something that makes it easier for us, right? Spoken like a true vulture capitalist.
You
Okay.
know something? You know something funny I just saw today? There was a Simpsons episode about the Russian-Ukraine war, and it mentioned the same thing. Like we all have a war on capitalism. It was
Mhm.
weird. It's been 24 years ago, and they got it right.
The Simpsons just gets too much stuff right. It's scary.
It is. That's like,
That
I
and
don't
South
know.
Park.
Like,
Oh
how the
my goodness.
hell?
I'm telling you, South Park is another hidden gem. And
Yeah.
so I would say also some of the cons. Do you have those bougie, stuck up passengers? That want you to kiss their butt and lick the crack. Have you
Oh
ever? Do
yeah.
you ever get
Yeah.
any of those? I mean, we get those in regular Ubers and Lyfts. They think they're over here using a livery service or renting out a limousine or something. So I understand that. So drivers, what's been your experience with everything? Have you gotten those bougie passengers that think, that their poop doesn't smell and they are just extra, 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 extra? What do you guys think about that? You know?
Lyft has got something they call premium ride or premier ride, and they want you to be able to adjust the temperature to a certain temperature, and they want to let you know whether or not you're,
Oh
they
yeah.
want a cool ride, or they want you to help with the bags or something like that, and and they just say you'll get a little bit more if you get the right car for it, and I think they call it Premiere or something like that. I forget exactly what they call it, but I had it. I was getting it for a little while with a certain car that I had, and then I get a different car and I didn't get them anymore. But it was never really. There's no more. There was a little more money from Lyft, but there was never any real big money in tips or anything else like that. These people, Fidelity and Investments, unfortunately, they were the ones that basically said that we pay our drivers commission. You don't need to tip your drivers, and it's gone like wildfire all over Boston. So a lot of people don't tip.
Yeah. Another thing, you're right about that. Didn't they also add a feature that they would also, like if they didn't want to talk to you or they didn't want you to talk, they also notify you about that too? Isn't that true?
Yeah, silent car. They wanted
Silent
silent. Yeah.
car,
Yep. And no interaction or anything like that.
no interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
Is Steven still here?
No, I think Steven might, maybe his internet is a little, a little rusty and everything.
Oh, okay.
So
No, because
he'll probably be back.
okay. Well, I know I had to shut down because my wife was acting up a little bit, so I came back here. So,
Yeah.
um,
So, but I would say some of the cons too are the increase in vehicle maintenance expenses. If you have that Yukon Denali, that Cadillac Escalade, those nice rims, that's a lot in gas. And gas prices are higher right now than Bobby Brown was in the 90s. So I'm just
yeah,
saying they're disrespectful.
you're a good. That was a good one,
Okay.
Pat.
All
I
right.
like that one. That
I
was
like the
good.
addition. I'm a Bobby Brown fan. No disrespect, but it is what it is, baby. I'm just saying. And
Oh man.
so, in those suits, man, you got to get those bad boys dry clean. So if you are wearing this suit, your dry cleaning bill goes up.
Well, I'm
You know?
about ready to try to get a little bit of extra doing even trying to get livery company that's definitely hiring around here. Um,
Mhm.
maybe a little summer work, or maybe a few airports on one day a week or something like that,
Yeah, for the
So
Cape, that could be nice money.
yeah, oh yeah. Well, a lot of them pay 25 an hour to start, So if they're doing that, it's pretty good money, If you go to the airport and back, it's $75 easily just to drive over to the airport and come back.
So that's another con. Increased gas prices. Con would be also increased dry cleaning bill. Dry cleaning bill for suits. Yeah, so Steve is having technical difficulties on the internet. So that's what he just texted me. But Steve, if you can actually participate in Facebook too. So if you want to comment in Facebook, you could still participate. And so we're going to go to some of the pros of having a livery vehicle. So some of the pros that I can see are, let's say you buy the vehicle, you have the plates, but you don't feel like driving it, you can rent it out, because I know they're starting off, the cheapest I've seen is like $300 a week, and that's for a little Toyota Camry or something like that. So you can rent out your vehicle for a profit. You could do that.
Don't you need added insurance to do that?
Well, the plates have the insurance, but
No.
for the internet, Facebook and YouTube, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I can be wrong at times. But I think
hire car, no, does stuff like that. But it's just, I'm thinking that if you did it yourself, you'd have to have the person listed as a business or some kind of business or something like that. You couldn't.
Yeah, I think you just add them as a driver onto your insurance. There's a few guys that rent out their cars for livery. One of our former board members also used to rent out. They have vehicles. They used to rent out vehicles for livery too. And also, you can actually get your own private clients and charge them what you want. It's like Uber and Lyft. That's another pro to it.
It's a strong possibility.
Yes. And if the clients like you, you get a website, they can book you. You can hire, more drivers. So we have Steve back.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I got kicked out.
Yep, you can get private clients. That's a pro. Also, you can take debit cards too.
Well, you got to have it set up to do that.
Yeah, but if you have stuff online, like I could take a credit card right through PayPal, right through Stripe. I have a Stripe, a Square, and a PayPal, and I'm not doing livery.
So, are you talking about livery?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see the crawl?
As a livery driver, you can charge your own rates and you could do that, but the everyday private Uber driver cannot, unless they have the financial ability to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all you have to do is just get Square. I've seen a lot of the some of the rideshare drivers that do have livery plates. And I helped them during the pandemic with the PPP and the idle. They do have Stripe because they're able to charge their clients. They do have those receipts. You just use a credit card processor. And it's a good way to build up your business and build up a loyal clientele. If they like you, you can make a lot of money. Let's say David's talking about the Cape. There's a lot of wealthy people on the Cape, and a lot of them are not well known. So you can get that good client where he's like, I'll give you $1,000 for the day to be my driver, $1,500 plus expenses. Or maybe, maybe just traveling. They might rent a luxury vehicle if they like you that much and have you drive them around. So there are some perks. You get to network, you get to connect with other people as well. And I know another pro is you also get the feedback when you do a livery Uber and Lyft ride. You do get that fee. That's another thing as well too. So I'm not going to be complaining about that. But it is what it is.
Stephen, that petition Stephen put up, Mass Drivers United, what group is that?
It's another rideshare group. And I applaud their effort. It's just like there's so many policies that go with that.
You know who they are already.
Sorry, Stephen. What?
You know who they are already. They were old teammates.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. The only thing is that is a lot of regulations. So, someone said one of the cons of doing livery is basically you're going to be working 24/7, 365 in rain, sleet, and snow. So that's what someone else said.
You got to set appointments. You got to keep those appointments. You got to be at least a half hour early to each appointment.
Half hour early?
Yeah, you got to be a half hour early.
Oh, I'm charging for that.
There used to be a service that actually helped us. It was called Userve, and then Userve changed to Apex because they got sued because the drivers did not have a livery license at the time, and after a lot more investigation into that type of service and what we do, I learned that there are loopholes that can get regular Uber drivers into trouble when they do that stuff without a livery license or livery plates.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important that you have livery plates on your car if you decide to go into business on your own as a livery driver, using Uber and Lyft as your source of customer base. The unfortunate part is, even though we don't have that accessibility on the app, we can do it, but there's going to be a lot of legality behind it as to whether or not it's 100% legal in some aspects. But just use caution for now until we can get this fixed.
Okay, so Gay Rat, actually, Gay Rat is like the moderator of the Uber and Lyft professional Boston drivers group. So I just posted what some of his, pros and cons are, and then I'm going to post his cons. So he just said cost of the high insurance, bureaucratic procedure of obtaining and maintaining operating license and airport permits. Yeah, I'll say that because Massport, it's like a pain. It's like you end up having a love-hate relationship with them sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
It can be complicated. It's a lot of policies, a lot of procedures, a lot of rules, a lot of red tape. So I do have to agree with Gay Rat with that. And lack of independently earned clients. That is true. However, a way to get around that is to join a networking group like BNI. I am a member of one of those for my business, and I could tell you that's where they refer you clients. And we're talking about every single person in BNI either has a business or represents a business. And we're talking about banks, moving companies, all types of corporations, Fortune 500, 1,000, 5,000 companies. So if you're looking to grow your business as a livery driver, you should really, 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 really check that out. Especially a BNI or another networking group like that. Have your business cards, have your website up with your QR code so people can just scan and book you immediately. You want to make it as easily as possible to get your clients. You always want to do that, especially if you want to make money, especially like Gay Rat said, those corporate accounts. And also what a lot of people don't know is you can also get a contract because a lot of the livery drivers and Uber drivers and drivers with livery plates are people of color, are women-owned businesses. And what a lot of people don't know, you could register your business as a minority business enterprise. And then certain companies have to give a certain percentage. It's not a lot, maybe 5% of set aside contracts for minority business enterprises. And you just pass out your card, your capability statement, and you can end up getting those corporate contracts and really being able to build up a 6-figure a year business. So that's some of the secret sauce I know. I'm really good at networking and making connections and meeting people and meeting other business owners. So that's what I'm good at. You got to get with the times, get with the technology, and make sure they can book you online, because I know I'm one of the oldest millennials you could be. I like to scan the QR code. I like to do everything from my phone. I like to order online. So I know some of y'all livery drivers are old school. And if some of you guys that want to get into livery are old school, I applaud old school. I was raised by old school parents. My dad is still old school as heck. My mom knows how to text, but my dad doesn't. He's 82 years young. But if you want to get the clients, you got to get into the new age of the technology. So I will say that. And I just want to thank Gay Rat and Greg and Morgan. And Tony says it's the booking fee. If you have livery plates, with livery plates, they don't take the booking fee. Is that the $1.85 or $75 that Uber charges? And Carlos from Connecticut Drivers United says hi. So that's one of the pros of that booking fee too. But I guess $1.85 adds up, but it won't get you a tank of gas. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
It won't even get you a gallon of gas. It used to.
At one time, we had asked Travis to raise the booking fee to $5 for $5 minimum, because that would cover the amount of mileage on short trips, depending on if it was long or short, and it was perfect. But in court, they couldn't justify the fee itself, so that was contested, and then later redacted, and so now we're back to where we are now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So we're going to move on to our next topic, business structure. So how should you structure your livery business? So the way that most drivers that I see structure it, they're structuring it as a corporation. And what I always say is always consult a professional. Dave, do you know if the company that you drove livery for, was it a corporation or was it an LLC? Do you remember?
I think it was an LLC. It was a taxi cab company that also did livery.
Okay. And so I know usually check with a certified accountant. I do have a lot of experience with business taxes, especially small business taxes. I am a certified paid tax preparer. I have my PTIN with the IRS. My firm is certified. And I can't say this. Usually they say it's good to be an LLC until you're making $40,000 a year and up. And then you can always go into an S corp or form a corporation if you're making more than that, because the tax advantages are a lot better if you use your LLC tax as an S corp after you make $40,000 a year. However, I am going to put a disclaimer: always consult a CPA or a tax mitigation attorney. You want to consult someone that knows how to lower your taxable burden the most. And I'll be honest with you, a CPA, a certified public accountant, doesn't always know how to do that. Sometimes you'll be paying more in taxes. I'm not going to call any of my family members out. I'm not going to say any names, but I'll just say this. Someone in my family just happens to be a CPA. And when I did another family member's taxes, I got them more money back than they did, because I really studied the ways to legally lower business owners' tax burden. Some CPAs are so bogged down
You've done mine.
now at tax time. All they care about is just getting the next return and getting the next return done. And sometimes they don't care about maximizing their client, maximizing the savings for their clients. So I'm not saying that's all CPAs, but it's some. There are some awesome CPAs out there. And so you always want to consult a professional. If you're looking for a tax professional, after this live stream is over and everything is uploaded to YouTube and Facebook, we will be putting some links up to benefit all of you guys that are interested in learning more information. If you need maybe a livery policy reviewed, or maybe you need a quote for livery insurance and you're looking for a broker that works with multiple companies, you're looking to save money on gas. I know it's not much, but we got that plug for you, especially if you get a business gas card. So we do have some extra goodies for you guys at the end of the show. And so this brings us to the last part of our show. We know it's late. It's a school night, kids, even though we're all adults. We don't want to keep you too long. So we're going to go to our last topic. And it's the top 5 tips for livery drivers. And so what tips can you offer, Dave?
Make sure your stickers and everything on your car are all good, so you don't get into any trouble with the law, when you're doing your pickups and stuff like that. Make sure your Massport permits are all up to date, because if they're suspended, you can be in more trouble with that. And always check to make sure you have a full tank of gas before you start driving. It's kind of embarrassing when you run out of gas with a client in the car.
Yes, that Massport one is a definite must, okay? Because Massport, you might as well turn those 2 S's into $, because if you're not legit and you don't come correct to that airport or another Massport area, they love to fine you. I mean, what do you get, like $500 tickets? Who wants a $500 ticket?
It's anywhere from $200 to $1,000.
You hear that? $200 to $1,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I know those aren't the type of tickets I want.
And you also get points. So anytime anytime you don't have a sticker on your windshield or your back window, you have to have both of
points
them.
On your license.
$200 fine plus a point for each one. And in addition to whatever other ticket they decide to give you. On top of that.
There is a whole published book about Massport and your do's and don'ts. So if you have to drive it with a taxi limousine or Massport sticker on your car for livery plates, you need to get that book and study it hard. They don't even want you to get out and open up the trunk of your car to put the bags in. There's a fine for that.
And some of the information is actually in the app as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow. You see this? It's like they try to catch you riding dirty. I forgot which rap artist sings that song, but is it T.I., I think? I don't know. Trying to catch me riding dirty. Try to catch me riding dirty. That's what Massport is, man. I tell you. And so Dave says the Massport fees have to be paid or they suspend your account. Oh, that's not good either. I'm telling you, you really don't want that to happen.
Last thing you want to do is get in trouble with Massport, because when I worked there, I got in trouble when a pilot went to the wrong door.
Wow.
Well, they when you go into it's a different motor pool for buses and limousines. When you go into that, your transponder trips and it picks up your vehicle, all your information about your permit, and they immediately know who you are before you even walk in that office to get a permit.
Oh,
and you
wow.
say, well, how many passengers? Yep, they know all that stuff. And so, like, I've gone in there driving a bus and they've said that, oh, I'm sorry, your permit's suspended. And I'm like, well, why isn't it suspended? Oh, yeah, they tell you right off the bat. It comes right up on the computer. So and the thing is, the holding lot where the limousines and buses go, you have to walk in there, check in, say how many passengers you're picking up, what terminal, And if you don't have that piece of paper on top of your car, on top of along with the sticker on the car, you can get fined too. So that's the procedures I have to go through with the buses when I was doing the charter work over there.
Wow, I put Massport is like the CIA. Damn, they know all that information about you on the jump. That is amazing. You know, I'm telling you, I really didn't know that. And I would just say, have business cards, have business cards, and I would say use Uber and Lyft to build up your client base too. Use Uber slash Lyft to build up your client base. And so, oh yeah, and also get certified if you qualify, get certified if you qualify as an MBE, which is a minority business enterprise. To go after contracts. And also just keep your cool and sign up for a business gas card, sign up for a business gas card. I mean, some of them have like 5 to 10 cents off a gallon. Some of them even 50 cents off a gallon. You just might have to, shop. And it'll, and if your capital is not that high, you have 7 days, 14 days, or even 30 days, to pay back. So that gives you leeway once you get those business cards, those business.
Just in.
What's just in? What does it say? Can you read it for us, Steve? Because I can't really see it too well.
It says, building a better community. In the next few weeks, we'll be asking all riders and drivers and couriers to recommit to our community guidelines in the Uber app.
What does that even mean? No, I have a question for everyone. How many of y'all have actually, like, let's say when you had to get on Facebook, you had to get on Twitter, YouTube, even when you sign up for a business bank account online, any app on your phone, how many people actually read the terms of service and guidelines for that?
I don't know if you can show. I don't know if you can show this, but try and show it. I'm gonna send it to you right now.
I think I might be able to. I might be able to share it on my screen. It's the photo. So I'm gonna try to share my screen. Hold on one second. Share my screen. Share screen. Let's see. Let's say window. All right. So Steve sent this to me. Building a better community together. In the next few weeks, we'll be asking all riders, drivers, and couriers to recommit to our community guidelines in the Uber app. Like I said, who reads that?
Nobody even knows what the community guidelines are.
I'm trying to tell you. Like I said, I'm probably one of the few people that actually, I'm the person that reads everything. When Uber sends those new terms of service, I read that garbage. I send them an email afterwards. I'm the nerd that does that. But most people don't do that. Like 90%, 95% of people aren't going to do that. They're just going to go do it, whatever, just so they could use the platform. Because how many times have passengers violated those community guidelines? Passengers don't even want to wear their masks. And I go in Ubers and Lyfts all the time. You have to check off that you have to wear a mask, that you're wearing one just to get in. And passengers still won't comply.
Nope.
So what's that going to do? What is that going to do? It's not going to do anything.
Well, they don't ride with you if they don't comply.
Yeah,
Oh
but
no, what they do is they put it on, and then when you look in your rear view mirror, it's down. They just take it off. So that's what's been happening. That's what a lot of our drivers are talking about. Oh, you know, we forgot to add here, get a dash camera. Get a dash camera.
Yeah, get a dash
especially for insurance, for liability, you know, for everything.
That from a lot of unwanted situations that you're going to find yourself in as a Uber driver, no matter what you may think. It's helped me out quite a few times already, and you know, it's not fun being in that situation where you get screwed. So don't get screwed.
Sometimes though, you know, you might, once you build up a relationship with certain amount of your private clients and you establish, you know, some rapport, some trust, sometimes they might not want everything, you know, everything to be filmed. So then I understand not recording everything, but at least looking out, like driving, you want to at least have that part of your dash cam on, because we know how people drive. People in Boston love to cut you off, you know, and then it's always been in the past, oh, you hit someone from behind, it's your fault. But if they cut in from another lane and you don't have enough time to brake, you can show that dash cam footage to the insurance company and then it's their fault. So dash cam is a lifesaver for a lot of people. We'll also be posting the link for that. So thank you so much. You know, it's been great with you guys. Also, if you're we're also going to be posting a link to an insurance guy. If you're looking to get another quote on your livery policy, if you're looking to get a quote for livery, if you're looking to take the next step and really, really, really take ride sharing seriously, you know, as, you know, and, you know, charging what you want, take a control of what you charge your clients. We will be posting, you know, some fun links for you, some fun facts afterwards. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Take care, everyone. And I'm not a praying person, but if I was, I'd be praying for lower gas prices. So have a good night, everyone. Okay.
All right.